All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the third episode of Sleepless in Singapore. I'm with a very special guest today. His name is Mr. Sharifuddeen, and he's asked me to refer to him as Dean. I was actually taking a taxi to Novena one day, and I met this wonderful driver. The minute I got into the cab, I realized that his voice was just fit for radio. So he's just got a wonderful voice. And I figured, I thought I might as well interview someone on Sleepless in Singapore. Someone who's a taxi driver, because we all have many questions for taxi drivers. So I thought it'd be great to invite Dean over. Welcome, Dean. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Nick. I feel very grateful that you have invited me for the interview.
All right, so let's start with some of the more basic questions. And okay, so first of all, how is it like being a taxi driver in Singapore?
Well, being a taxi driver is something that you have got to commit yourself. It is not like that somebody would just say, whenever I don't have a work, I can just always be a taxi driver. It is not that easy, It is something which you have got to commit yourself. It's a commitment. Like a career. When you are doing a job, it's a career. You have got to do it seriously. There's no such thing as it's just plain drive around. No, it's a commitment. You have got to make sure that you have handled your passenger well and all those kind of things. Make sure that they are comfortable with not only with the inside of your taxi. Make sure that they are comfortable with you also. That's what I believe. Just like you, Nick.
Okay, well, that's right. Now, you know I'm going to ask you hard questions, right?
Yeah, eventually it will.
Okay, I'm not eventually. We're going to start right now.
Oh,
okay.
Really?
All right, so why do so many taxi drivers I know hate being paid by nets? What's going on there?
Oh, really? I think the reason why they don't like to be paid by nets is just that they just want to have cash turnover, Like privileges for us, Comfort Delgro or City Cab. If you are paying by nets, your money will be credited into your bank account within a period of probably 2 days. And I am not very sure with any other companies, but basically what I've seen that other companies, other taxi companies or drivers, they don't want to take nets because probably the transaction of the money that will be credited into their account will take much longer period. So that's the reason why they would prefer to have cash.
Okay, that's very interesting, right? Because I noticed you actually just revealed which company you work for.
Oh,
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You did it, okay?
But it's okay.
Okay.
I'm very proud with the company that I'm working with.
Okay,
I have served
good.
the company for 6 years,
Right.
and I even have got a few commendation from not only Unique, but there are a few other passengers. I would say about 4 or 5 passengers who already write into or call the company and say that what a pleasant driver I was and all those kind of things.
Right.
So I had my share.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's very good. All right, so that's very interesting. So you were saying that Comfort Delgro gives you payment through net almost straight away, 2 days.
Yes,
right. So that's why I never have any issues with paying through nets or MasterCard with Comfort Delgro.
Yes.
Right. But some of the other companies, I found the taxi drivers just outright refuse to take nets. So yeah, I guess that kind of highlights a bit of an issue there. Right?
Yeah, it does. Naturally, because basically sometimes we are at an advantage. We are at the advantage is because first of all, we are encouraged to take nets. You see, the company, when you sign up with the company even inform you that all sort of payments you have got to receive, be credit or whatsoever. You have got to learn how to entertain them, and you have got to accommodate all such things. So that there is no when you sign up with a certain taxi company, they have got their clause where they say that you are not allowed to refuse any passengers at all unless you have got the rights. Like for instance, you've been a Muslim, you are not allowed. If you don't take passengers with dogs, then you can refuse. But other than that, you are not allowed to refuse.
Right.
So in terms of payment, whatever payment, whether it be credit or be nets or it be flash pay or whatsoever, you know, you are not allowed to refuse any sort of passengers at all. You know, like I say, unless you are.
Right. Actually, you know, you just mentioned something. It's not really related to this, but I'm quite interested in that. So that's why I was talking to you earlier about interviewing a Muslim, a moderate Muslim someday. Because I was watching this TV program recently, and I saw that the prince, I think it was the prince of Saudi Arabia or something like that, he keeps dogs. And he doesn't just keep dogs, he lets them run all over the house. And people in Saudi Arabia seem to be very comfortable with dogs. And I was thinking about it. Even in Indonesia, right? Many Indonesians have dogs and stuff like that. And the only places where I've seen people, Muslims, seem to think that dogs are kryptonite is basically in Singapore and Malaysia. You know, so that it's quite interesting. I wonder why that is.
Oh no! Let me just correct you a little bit, Nick. I'm very sorry about it.
Yeah, no problem.
But then, probably the issues of handling dog is a stigma here in Singapore or either Malaysia. Probably I do not know so well about Indonesia, but then it is already there. You see that when you are a Muslim, it's already there. You know that you are not supposed to do this, you are not supposed to do that. Dogs are not supposed to be touched and all those kind of things. If you touch a dog, of course, it's not that you cannot touch a dog.
Right.
You know, you can touch a dog. Dogs are not, you know, they. It's just that whenever you touch a dog, right, they have got some sort of body sweat or saliva or whatsoever that will sticks to you. You see, right. And then not only that, is because that if you are going to perform your prayers and also whatsoever, it is what they call it. In Malay they call it najis. I do not know what terminology in English or the. So it is that when you are doing your prayers, you have got to be cleansed.
Okay, I get it.
So that's the reason why.
So right. So it seems like it's more of a you have to wash yourself with holy water or something, right?
Probably we're talking about in terms of religion. When you talk about in Saudi or whatever, or in Indonesia, probably in Indonesia, some very rich Muslim, probably they might want to have dogs is because they have got some sort of security problem or whatsoever. You see, so that's the reason why they have dogs. But then again, touching dogs, or you know, I mean, if you say that if I have dog inside my taxi, and then the person who is handling the dog, you see, probably would be touching the saliva and everything. And then when the transaction ends, when they have got to give, and then it's the touching, and then it's transmitted. You see.
So basically, it's a really big inconvenience to you as well.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. I understand. Well, thank you very much. See, I learned something today. Okay. So back to taxi stuff. How many hours do you work a day as a taxi driver?
Oh, all right. Taxi drivers, it depends. If you are the OMO kind of person, you know, it's a one-man operation, then you have got to cover 2 shifts. The actual shift that you have got to work is actually 12 hours. And then the additional hours that you have got to do it depends on how many hours. If you wanna earn more, then you work much longer. Right. You see, but definitely it will warn you out. But as for me, I am working on a 2-shift basis. So I have got another partner who works on from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. So like for me, I will take from 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. in the evening. But then you don't have to work 12 hours kind of thing, you know. Like I say, you know, if you work smart, then you'll find your way. Right. You see, so eventually, like coming out at 5 o'clock in the morning, probably you would say, wow, there won't be any people. So probably you would just go out a little bit later and all those kind of things. Yeah. Right. So that's no. I mean, we are on our own. There is no such thing as you have got to work on a 12 hours basis kind of thing. Right. Yeah. So,
but I can imagine that driving a taxi is very stressful, because regardless of how many hours you do on the road. So I assume from what you said, you probably drive 10 to 11 hours a day. right?
Yes.
I mean, of course, you include lunch in there as well.
Mm.
So that's really stressful because as a taxi driver, you got to focus on the road the entire time.
Right.
One slight turn, and you have possibly even a career-ending accident. I mean, just bumping to someone without causing a serious accident, but just bumping to someone would probably lead you to getting maybe a black mark from your company or something like that, right?
Right, quite true, Nick. It is actually very stressful
Mm-hmm.
to become a taxi driver. First of all, you have got to be really alert.
Right.
You have got to be focused on the road, and the best part is that you know that the roads here in Singapore
Mm-hmm.
are like there are so many routes that you can actually take to one destination. You see,
Right.
like for instance, you have a passenger, and then he says that he would like to go to this destination, and there are so many possible routes that you will have to, and that is already a stress, you know.
Right.
Just imagine if I'm going to take that route, and then suddenly there was a terrible jam or traffic, and then the passenger would say, "Oh, why aren't you taking the
Right.
other route?" and all this kind of thing. So it is really stress. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of the things. Luckily, I have you on because I want to complain about those guys. It's really annoying. The way I see people, complain about drivers and things like. And many taxi drivers have gripes about it as well. They talk to me, And when you're a passenger in a taxi, right, and you tell the taxi driver where you want to go, I mean, obviously, the taxi driver knows the way to go to the place, right? Whether it's 2 or 3 routes, and most is like going to be a 3 or 4 minute difference. It doesn't matter. So
yes.
people just put the taxi drivers under so much stress for no reason. It's just really annoying, And I heard this story from a taxi driver recently, where he picked up a passenger from nearby and drove him over to Nee Soon South. And the passenger told the taxi driver, "How come it's $10.50? Normally when I take a taxi, it's $10." And the passenger was so insistent, and he actually paid $10 to the taxi driver. And it's like, come on, man, what the hell are you doing? Who cares? It's not like the taxi driver purposely took another route just to earn 50 cents. It's just that maybe traffic was a bit slow that day, who knows? Man, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
So when I talk to taxi drivers, they tell me this as well.
You wouldn't believe it, no, Nick, what happened to me actually,
Yeah.
What happened to me is that I took a passenger, and then she actually alighted my taxi, and there was actually a 15 cents change,
Right.
And while I was just looking for 15 cents, it's a 5 cents too. While I was looking for the 15 cents to give back her change, and she was like in a hurry. She walked out of the door and she closed the door. And the next day, I received a call from my company and says that I did not even give the 15 cent change to her.
Oh my god!
It's
Fucking
15
hell.
cents. And then I just tell her, she calling the company already over a handphone would cost more than 15 cents. Sometimes it's absurd, but then
Right.
it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. But when I say when I told my company and I say, what, 15 cents? Oh my god! It really
Right.
it's not an issue at all.
So, by the way, today is the first. Yesterday was the highest taxi bill I've ever had in my entire life in Singapore. So
really?
I was in a rush, so I had to I did an advance booking. Okay, and a maxi cab came by. I took it all the way to Tanjong Pagar. There was a bad traffic jam, plus peak hour, plus ERP. I got whacked with $61. Ouch, man.
Wow, that must have hurt you a lot.
Doesn't matter, it just happens. Most of the time it's around 30ish, and most of the time I just take it to Novena or whatever. But yesterday I was in a rush, no big deal. So anyway, talking about that, has anyone ever run away from your taxi without paying?
Yes, I have had a couple of experience. That was like a few years ago.
Sorry, 1 second.
Okay, sure. Okay, right. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have had this experience of people running away and not paying the fare.
Right.
But then that was a few years ago. I can't remember. But then to me, it's something like you just have got to go through it. People running away from fare is something that drivers doesn't want to go through.
Right.
If he have got to give a free ride also, he would have just given a free ride also to the passenger.
Right.
Because it is a real hassle for a taxi driver to actually try to make a report. First of all, you have got to go to the police station and make a report that you have taken a certain passenger from point A to point B. And then after that, after you have made a police report, then you have got to go to your company and submit the police report. And then the company would just take down your report and then make another report. And then it will last another 2 weeks or whatsoever. And then, then they will only pay you 50% of your loss of income for that day.
Right.
So okay. It is not only the 50% that they are paying. It is not that, but the troublesome is going to the police, making a police report. You will have to wait for another 1 or 2 hours, and you have already lost your income for 2 hours, and then you have got to go to the office, and then it will take another 1 or 2 hours. It's total 4 hours. So normally taxi driver would just brush it aside and say that it's just like it's like a token of gift to.
Do you remember how much it costs? You?
I've had a small amount and I've had a few big amounts.
Wait, so this happened a few times to you before?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, right.
It does. And then there was this one. There's this one young lady who was also paying by nets, and then apparently the money was not around, and then the nets doesn't show approved, and then she says, "Oh uncle, can you give me your bank account number? I shall just transfer it to me." And then I say, "What? If you can't pay me now, you think you can pay me later?"
Right.
I say, "Forget it. Look, miss, never mind.
It doesn't matter.
Enjoy yourself today." Right? It's just and I have had another one. Who took from Punggol, end of Punggol, and all the way to Geylang, and he says that he's going out for a while to fetch his sickly mother, and then he will be down for just a while. He's a very good-looking guy. He's very smart with all long sleeve and everything all. And then I says, "Uncle, can I just go for?" I say, "Okay, fine. I just wait for you." So I have no idea that he's not coming back,
Right.
Right. So then 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, so I say, okay, that's it.
He's not coming back.
He's not coming. If it's 10 minutes, he's not coming down already. So I just don't want to waste any more time.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
But then there are a few passengers who are really very good, especially if you are driving at night. I don't normally drive at night. I only drive in the daytime. But sometimes when my partner goes on leave or whatsoever, then I would cover his shift, and I would be driving at night. But there are a few guys who are really very nice, especially when they are drinking or whatsoever. They say, "Uncle, I'm a little bit over,"
Right.
Then I say, "It's okay, fine with me, it doesn't matter." And then I says, as and when I want to throw out, "Uncle, can you please stop the car?"
Oh.
Yeah, he even tell me,
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I say, "It's okay, yeah, fine." So then he says, "Oh uncle, I gotta stop now." You okay, Yeah.
Holy smokes! You actually did that for someone?
Yes.
Oh my God!
We do get some passengers.
God damn.
Yeah, but generally we don't get people who actually throw out in your taxi unless they are totally.
Dude, you're like the nicest taxi driver ever. That is insane. So someone comes to your car, says that he actually might throw up, and you just pick him up. Oh my gosh. Damn. Oh my God. You're the nicest guy ever.
Oh really? No, I'm not making up story, but this is true. This is true.
Right.
I'm not making up stories, but it is true.
Gosh.
It is all part of us. Like I say, life is too short to be too difficult. Why want to make your life so difficult? You are a taxi driver. Everybody thinks a taxi driver is just a driver who drives you around. They want to scold you, they scold you. They want to cheat you, they cheat you. And all those kind of things. It's I do not know. When they see a taxi driver, he's just only a taxi driver. Right. Everybody have got to say, "What, taxi driver, you must be coming out to help me carry my luggage, my groceries, my marketing stuff." It is like I'm compelled to do such things. Oh
So
my God.
that actually leads me to one of the questions. Do you think that taxi drivers in a way are disrespected in society? in Singapore?
Generally, not all,
Right.
but there are, like I say, there are a few. There are a few. Just find that taxi drivers, like second class kind of people. You are just there to serve you. Like there are certain grade of taxis. Like you have got the maxi cab, they've got the Mercedes, they got
Right.
the everything. Like if you are driving a maxi cab or Mercedes or whatsoever, you are given with those vests and those ties
Right,
and all
right.
those kind of things. And if you are driving a normal taxi, then you are supposed to wear a nice shirt, also provided by the company. And then at that point already there is already a grading. It's just so it's very natural that people would just say, taxi driver, yeah, they are just around here. But like I say, not all. There are a lot of nice people also, like you, Nick.
That's one of the things I think I hope changes in Singapore. Whenever I buy stuff, at a service counter, I'm the first person to say have a nice day when it ends. Because we can't look down on people who do service work. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Why would you look down on someone else? And you buy something, they are providing you a service, they are helping you. When I go to KFC and I buy something, they're the ones who cook it for me and grab it and put it in plate in a nice little tray for me and give it to me. So I mean, yeah, thanks. Have a nice day. Here's whatever money it costs, barely anything. $6-7. They're working their asses off. So treat them nicely and they'll treat you nicely as well. And that of course goes both ways. So when you're doing a service work, make sure that you do it well. Make sure you're very pleasant and stuff. So I used to, I mean, I do magic and stuff like that. Did I tell you about it?
Yeah, you did, yes.
So basically at the Equinox restaurant, that was one of the restaurants I used to perform at Swiss Hotel, and I would go table to table to perform, and it's a service thing,
Right.
and there you get all sorts of characters as well. Mostly people were very, very nice to me. But there was one or two tables, of course, who would stand out a little bit. Oh, this guy's a performer. He's performing for us at the table, so he must be a low-class fella.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, sometimes they just make a few jokes at your expense and stuff like that. So you just gotta take it. And then they're saying, "Oh, how much do you get paid? Like $10 an hour or something?" And I was like, "No, I get paid $350 an hour here." What are you talking about? But I mean, whatever. It just happened. They're like, "What? Really?" Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not cheap to hire a magician.
Yeah.
Even if I was getting paid $10 an hour, so what? I'm here to entertain,
quite
and
true,
have
quite
fun.
true, right.
Anyway, whatever. Okay, so. How many passengers do you pick up every day on average?
On average, I would say about 16 trips lah. I would be making about 16 trips a day, every day. Right.
16 trips, and
That's right.
I'm assuming that each trip is anywhere from like $15 to $20. Would that be it?
Yeah, probably that. If you're talking about 16 trips per day, probably about $10 or $15.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
because you've got more trips. Like if you have lesser trips, then that would be a much longer trips, or you are caught in the traffic and all those kind of things. Yeah. An average, I think every taxi driver would be making about that trips. Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting actually, because then that kind of explains the shortage of taxis sometimes. Because 15 trips a day, and you're talking about a 11-hour, 12-hour shift.
Yes.
Huh?
That's
interesting.
That's about what 40 minutes per passengers.
Right.
40 minutes per passenger, so probably lesser.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Right.
And this is a dumb question. I just had to
Okay.
ask you. Okay, on average, how many passengers do you pick up every day? On average, how many passengers are assholes?
Are you talking about per day, per
No,
month,
I mean,
per
on
year?
average, out of 100, let's say.
Out of 100. Wow. So far, I do not know. Probably there are some assholes, but I really don't care. I don't want to count them.
Okay, that's good. Now, I really apologize to all the listeners out there. I still have a bad cough. I was actually supposed to interview Dean 2 weeks ago, but I just had a horrendous cough, and it's not done yet. And right now it's a dry cough. So whenever I laugh, it's gonna come out a bit. So sorry about that. Okay, so sorry over there to the camera. All right. So now, do you have any difficulties with? I mean, I'm assuming you're Malay, are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I
you
am,
speak
yes.
Malay. You speak English very well. Do you have any difficulties speaking to or dealing with foreign customers?
Foreign customers, the only problem that I have with foreign customers will be like, wow. Foreign customers, no, I have got no problem except for if they know how to show me the route that the place that they are going. There are some few Chinese, foreign Chinese passengers that I have. And if I do not understand them, I would definitely reject them. It's no point taking them and just making around and around.
Right.
Yeah. So normally, if they showed me through their smartphone that they are going to a certain area or whatsoever, then I would definitely
Pick them up.
pick them up. As long as I understand where they are going, it's okay. I will pick them up. So
Right.
far, yeah, I have no problem with any foreign passengers, but. Mainly, you get more locals than tourist passengers.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you get more locals than tourists. You don't get tourists so much. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, now why are so many taxi drivers seemingly changing their shift during peak hours? Why is that? Why does that happen?
Okay. When you talk about peak hours, that's the time when we change our shift.
Yeah, why is that? That's weird.
That's the 4 to 6 kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
It's from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. That is the time where we actually change. Being the reason is that you find it very weird. That is really peak hours. Why taxi drivers are changing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is very weird. But then, if you ask me to take shift at 3 o'clock in the morning and change at 3 o'clock in the evening,
That's difficult for you.
it's difficult. From 3 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the morning, there aren't anybody.
Right.
Alright.
So what about?
So if I'm going to change at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then I would lose all my peak hours passengers. You see?
What about something like 8 to 8?
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the second driver will have problem with the peak hours. You see, everybody wants peak hours.
Right.
You see, nobody wants to not work. You see, you know, just imagine if I don't want to work. Peak hours are the best hours that you should be working because
Right.
there are a lot of passengers who want a taxi. So I mean, just imagine if somebody stopped me at 4 o'clock and, uncle, I want to go to airport. Why should I reject the passengers? Right. It's good money, you know.
Right.
Right. But I have to commit myself that my next partner is going to take at 5 o'clock, and then if I'm going to take that passenger, and then if I'm going to eat up his time, then it would be unfair for him.
Right. He's gonna lose out.
Right.
On
That's
his
right.
pay as well.
So it is best that, you know, within the period of 1 hour, probably it will be difficult for you guys for all the people outside there to be getting taxis, but then you can't blame them. It's statistic already, you know.
Right.
Right. You should understand that they don't want it, but it's just that
There's no choice.
there's no choice. Both party of the taxis, right, whether it's a hire or the relief, both of them wants to make sure that they maximize their peak hours.
So it has to be either 5 to 5 or 6 to 6.
Yeah, that's right.
the
Yes.
best
So
time.
within
Right.
that period, and it's sometimes like I say, it's the flow of passengers also are very, very like I do not know, Nick. Sometimes when there are a lot of taxis queuing outside, no passenger, right? Nobody complains. But when there are too many passengers and no taxis, everybody complains. Where are the taxis?
Right.
But don't they know that at one time everybody is going out?
Out of the city, yeah.
You know, at one time everybody is going out. Let's say after 9:30, everybody wants to go out because they don't want to pay for the peak hours.
Right.
Right. Before peak hours, nobody wants to go out. So just imagine, like, if everybody goes out and with the pool of taxis only that you have,
Right.
can we accommodate everybody?
Right, right.
Naturally, no.
Okay, so sorry, 1 second there. I got to change the battery in my camera pack.
Okay, sure.
One second. Okay, so anyway,
Sir.
let's carry on. Yeah, let's not get too rolled up about that.
Yeah.
Peak hour thing.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I have to. It's my
Okay.
stupid. It's my mind. I can't get it out. Okay, so
Okay.
it makes sense to me. Peak hour. You want to maximize time during peak hours.
Alright,
Okay.
yes.
So what if you drove that guy over to Changi Airport? Okay, at 4 o'clock,
Right.
right? And at Changi Airport, you picked up another passenger, and then you drove him to wherever else, and then
Right.
you handed your taxi over to your partner late at 6 o'clock.
Right.
But you gave him some money in return. Wouldn't that be a better
Yeah,
solution?
but how much money are you talking about?
Right.
Are you going to give him $5, $10? Will he be very comfortable with that?
$30 maybe.
$30, and you tell him I'd rather go home and let you work.
Right.
Right. If I'm gonna run that hour
Mm.
for, if I'm gonna earn, let's say, $20, and if I'm gonna give him $30, I'll be losing. Then I'd rather go home and then hand it over to him. And then why should I want to work on his account?
Right. I see. Okay. So anyway, how much does it cost to rent a taxi per
Well,
day? And one more thing, how much do you spend on fuel every day as well?
Okay, right. Per day rental depends on the taxi that you are driving. What I'm driving now is the Sonata. It's an old car. I have driven that car with this friend of mine for almost 6 years already. The first time I met him when I registered with the company. When I registered with the company the first time, and then the next day when he called me, I signed it up. I signed up with him, and since then I've been driving with him for almost like 6 years, and we've got only one more year. So it depends on the vehicle that you are actually driving.
Right.
So it varies. If you are driving an old car, the rental will be much cheaper. But if you are driving the latest one, the i40 or the Mercedes or the Maxicab, the with the 9-seater kind of thing,
Right.
the price will varies, of course. Yes. What I'm paying right now is about 110, and then the new i40 will be about $137.
What's an
And
I-40? The electrical.
the Sonata, the new Sonata, the i40.
Is it the
Yeah.
one that's really quiet?
Yeah.
$137 a day.
That's right.
Bloody hell, that's a shit ton of money, man.
That's right. Yeah.
Damn.
So, but then again, Nick.
Yeah.
The tariff also varies.
What do you mean?
Clock
Yeah.
up tariff. What I'm driving now is the old Sonata, and whenever a passenger comes into my taxi, I start up with only $3.20.
Oh, I didn't know there's a difference.
Yes.
Right,
So
right.
if you are driving the i40, then your starting meter will be at $3.70. And if you are driving, if you ride the Mercedes, the limo, then it will be like what? $4? I can't remember really.
Okay,
Yeah. So the most expensive one where everybody was shunning away is the black
the Chrysler, right?
Yeah, the Chrysler,
right.
which is $5.
I mean, no, I only generally take a taxi when I'm in a rush. If I see a Chrysler, I just take it. I don't really care. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, at most it's going to be like 50% more or whatever.
Yeah.
So long as,
Right.
I just hate the stress that I get from being late.
Yeah,
So I just want to get rid of
Right,
it.
true,
So, you're talking about 100 and anywhere from 110 to 137.
That's
How much
right.
would you pay in fuel?
We all taxi drivers have been imposed by the LTA that we must clock a 250 kilometer every day for every drivers. So just imagine we must clock a 250 kilometers every day.
What if you have a partner? Both of you added together? Or?
No, will be an individual.
Holy smokes!
Yeah. So
Jeez.
we are running like what, 500 kilometers minimum a day. So we are very lucky because our diesel being subsidized by the company. So we never even pump our diesel at any of the petrol kiosks outside, whereas the petrol kiosks outside are so much more expensive, and we are being subsidized. So normally all taxi drivers, which bear my company, I mean not mine, the City Cab and the Comfort Delgro, we've got like we've got island-wide pump station. From the north to the south, from the east to the west. we've got everywhere. So it's so convenient for us.
That's like a rap, man. From the north to the south, the east to the west, man. Taxi driver throwing it down, okay, so how much is a liter of diesel right now?
So diesel right now is, well, you know, the price of diesel going down right now. So we are paying like what, 75 cents
and how much
per
is it
liter, and outside it's like $1. I do not know really, but I know it's about $1 something.
All right.
Yeah. So it's really good for us lah. Those are the advantages that that we are getting, unlike any other companies where their diesel station are lesser. Yeah.
So for my foreign listeners, he's talking about $1.10 roughly for liter of diesel. And he gets a subsidized rate of 75 cents. Some people might think it's a gallon and all that. In Singapore, it's a liter.
Right, yes.
All right, so thanks for all the information. So you're driving 250 kilometers.
Yes.
Minimum.
Yes.
Right? And so you're going to use a lot of diesel. Would you say you spend about $50 a day on diesel?
Oh, no. Probably about $30. That's
$30, okay.
Yes.
So $30 plus your
taxi.
That's
about 300 kilometers
plus your taxi rent, so you're pretty much down $140 every day.
That's right. Yes.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot. That's right. Some people would just say that if there is no job for me, I would drive a taxi. But it's not so easy. Really, it's not so easy. It is a commitment that you have got to put in. You know, you think that I can just drive 8 hours or 6 hours or 4 hours. No, it doesn't sound.
You got to drive 250 kilometers.
That's right. That's right.
So when you talk about your daily rent of your taxi, are you splitting that with your partner?
Yes. For the rental of taxi, we split with partner, but only for diesel, whatever we consume, we pay it ourselves.
Okay, so basically, roughly every day you're down $100. You got to earn that back.
That's right. Yes.
Plus your profit for the day.
Yes.
So that's why it's so hard.
That's right. It is. It is. It's not so easy. It sounds really.
What happens if you're sick?
You don't get anything.
Oh no! Oh, come on, man! Comfort Delgro, what are you guys doing?
You don't get anything. Seriously, jokes aside. Okay, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you. We're not talking about certain taxi companies or whatsoever. When you talk about the welfare of taxi drivers, basically, I think very low.
But that's the problem with doing work on contracts, and I mean, because I'm a contract teacher as well. If I'm sick, I just don't get paid. It's simple as that. But actually, it's much worse for you. Because you don't just not get paid, you got to pay your rent.
Pay out. Yes,
man, that's screwed up, man.
We have got to pay our rental, and then we don't get any income, and we still have to think of all the things that we have got to pay and all those kind of things. You know, that's the only setback about being a taxi driver. But you know, if you fall sick or whatsoever. I've had an experience one time where I have an ankle operation. There was a cyst growing in my ankle, and then apparently I have to go for a quick surgery, a quick surgery, and then I have to be warded in the hospital for 2 days, and then apparently I was given like a 15 days MC, you know.
Right.
So what happened is that I went to the office, and then I said, look, I'm your taxi driver. You know my record. I've done well for the company. I'm always dressed up for the company too, and I'm sick. And I've got 15 days of medical leave, of which there aren't any income for me. You see? So is there any benefits or whatsoever that you'll be giving me? Or probably then they would say, oh, I'm sorry, you being a relief driver, there aren't any benefit at all. So I'm not talking about a certain company, I'm talking generally, it's all.
Right.
You see? And then, so just imagine 15 days of unemployment. Even though my partner has been very nice to me, he did not even collect any rent from me at all. No, he's been very nice to me. We have been like buddies for a long time already. So he didn't even collect a single cent from me, but it's just that, 15 days of no income, that's a lot of money.
Right. And I can imagine if you were the so-called one-man operation,
Yeah,
you're
and will
dead.
be worse.
Holy shit! You got no partner to help you out, right?
That's right. There
Oh,
is
man.
nobody to help you around for 15 days. Just imagine, what are you going to return back the taxi to the company? Naturally, they wouldn't accept it.
So
Yeah.
okay, so let's just calculate that for a second. You're driving this i4 thing. Did you just call it i4?
No,
What
no,
did-
no. I'm
No, no, I
driving
mean,
the Sonata.
Assuming the taxi, what was the taxi called? i40 or something.
The new one.
Yeah.
The new Sonata I40.
Okay, so assuming I was driving the i40, I'm sick for 2 weeks. I'm paying $137 in rent.
Right.
So that's for 2 weeks. That's roughly about $2,000.
That's right. Yeah.
Plus I'm sick. Plus I have no income. That is
Right.
screwed up, man.
Yeah,
God
man.
damn, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably if you are a hirer, there are benefits, of course. You are a hirer, there are benefits.
Mm-hmm.
They always consider that if you are a hirer, but only relief don't get those kind of benefits that
Right.
the hirer are getting.
So what would the hirer get?
So I have no idea what are the conditions that hirer, because I have never been a hirer before.
Right.
You see, so I do not know what are the conditions that they are getting. But they are, when I went there, it's just that says, are you a hirer or a relief? Then I say I'm a relief driver. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Sharifuddeen, relief are not entitled for any of this welfare kind of thing.
Right,
Only
right.
hirer are entitled for this.
Yeah.
So probably hirer gets more benefits into that thing. Yeah.
Okay. So let's carry on a little bit. So how much can let's say I'm a one-man operation taxi driver. I'm assuming I have to drive much more than 12 hours, right?
Right, sure, yeah.
So 18 hours? No, this is insane.
Yeah.
How can I drive for 18 hours? That's crazy. Okay. So let's say I drove for 16 hours a day.
Right, sure.
Is that
Okay.
reasonable?
16 hours, yeah. 16 hours would be just, it's comfortable for an OMO.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
If I were doing that, how much money could I realistically earn a day as profit?
Oh, wow. Okay, right. I think you have heard that there was one incident a couple of years ago when this guy was making like what, $7,000, $8,000.
That's not true, right? Is that true?
A month kind
Right.
of thing, it is not true at all. No, there's no way that you can earn that kind of amount of money. Even though if you say that some drivers would just come and say, wow, this time around I'm making about $7,000. I mean, you gotta work, man. Like what, 16, 18 hours, and then you go back sleep, and then you sleep for 6 hours, and then the next day
And
you're
it's driving,
getting up.
right? That's some serious
Yeah.
shit, man. Yeah.
And then how long can you last? The machine also does not work 24 hours throughout the 365 days.
Right.
They need to take a break. And you're talking about human. How fragile are human?
Right.
Humans are so fragile, they break down easily. Just imagine if you are going to work 18 hours every day. What happen if you have got one sole passenger, and you will definitely break down. And then what happened to your career then?
Okay, so as a one-man operation, is it easy to earn $3,000 a month?
Yeah, initially I would say yes.
Is it easy
is.
to earn 4,000?
If you want to work, if you want to earn 4,000, if you want to earn 5,000, of course,
You gotta work your ass off,
you
right?
gotta work.
So then you're talking about 6 hours a night of sleep.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not good.
If you want to work,
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants. But why do you want to be slave to the money?
Right.
Eventually, what happened to you? I have got this friend of mine who is a very young driver. When I talk about young driver, he is just started to drive taxi, and then when he started driving taxi, he find that, wow, being a taxi driver is so lucrative. You make a lot of money and all these kind of things. Yeah, I say, what? You working really hard, And then what happened to him after the next 14 days? He fell sick for the next 5 days.
Right.
Oh my God, it's really absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that experience as well as a contract teacher, because I teach English to foreign students, and we do work on contracts, so we get paid per hour, and they give us a certain amount of hours. If you're really crazy, I tried to do this before, to teach as much as 9 hours a day, right? And you could earn a shit ton of money from it, but it really affected my life very heavily, because for me, especially when I teach, if you're doing a 3-hour class, the preparation that you do for that 3-hour class is going to be double. So, like, I go down all the way to the most basic things. If I'm going to write a word on the board, where's the word going to be? What word is it going to be? How can I maximize the time with the students? You know, and even when I do things like recording and listening to their voices, when I walk around class to listen to their speech, I record each individual student with their own little voice recorder so that I can go home and listen to them and tell them the next day what mistakes they're making. So all this stuff, when you do 9 hours of that a day, it really breaks you down. So I can imagine as a taxi driver, if you're going to drive 16 hours a day or 18 hours a day and sleep for 6 hours, it's good. There's going to come to a point of time where you're going to end up in an accident.
Eventually, you are going to break down. Eventually, you are going to break down. Either you are going to have an accident, or you are going to just simply mentally break down.
Right.
And that's the worst part, you know. And that's the worst part. I have tried. I have tried then before I was driving with this particular company. I was driving with another company as an OMO driver for 6 months. I tell you, my life is a real nightmare. You know, you wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you go out. And that time, my children are still very young, you know. So you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You go out at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then they are still sleeping, and then you come back at about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening, and then you have 1 hour of good nap, or probably you just go and have a nice makan your wife prepared for you, and then after that you sit down for a while, and then you go out again, and then you come back about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening, and then when you come back, your children are all sleeping, or probably they are busy with their schoolwork or whatsoever, and you don't even have the time to. You are so tired, you don't even have the time to talk to them.
Right, you're mentally exhausted.
You just wash up and you go to sleep, and then you know, because your mind has been like a program that I gotta get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know. if I'm gonna miss that time, and then, you know, my whole schedule will be all you know, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It was like a nightmare for me. It was like for 6 months, and I have to give away a lot of things. Right. First of all, my families. I mean, I have to provide, you know, but then I've got to give a lot of things. I got to give away a lot. I've got to give away with my families. And the things that I love is going out to the gym. That is the thing that I love with my friends. There are a few of us, a pool of taxi drivers who just likes to go out and run and all those kind of things. So it was like zap, you know. And 6 months is enough to create a havoc on my health.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I was putting on a lot of weight.
Right.
Yeah, I was like 6 months. I was like suddenly I put on like 5 or 10 kilo, and then I was like totally stressed out. You know, you know, those things are really chaotic. Yeah, really.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So you got nasty questions for me,
What? Well, okay. First of all, this is a good one. I want to rearrange my camera a bit because it ran out of battery. 1 second.
Okay.
We can just share this one over here.
Okay, sure.
So. All right.
Nice table you got, Nick.
I gotta ask you this question. I feel bad for asking, but I gotta ask you.
Right.
Okay, what do you think of local drivers? That's why I'm laughing to myself, man.
But are they terrible drivers?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, yeah.
You're the one who drive all the time, right?
They are a lot better drivers nowadays. Yeah, they are a lot better drivers nowadays. They probably 6-7 years or more than that, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, probably then you see a lot of terrible drivers on the road. But I think the traffic police or the LT have done a lot to actually educate these drivers to be more courteous and everything all. I think it's because why, you know, we have we have lapse of this courtesy campaign.
Right.
So then before taxi drivers or whichever drivers or whatever, whoever they are, we have gone through this courtesy campaign and we are very courteous. And then suddenly there aren't any more courtesy campaign and all this kind of thing. So we tend to be more terrible drivers on the road, you know. And I think it's because another thing, the statistics shows that there are more accident happens and all this kind of thing. So LTA or traffic police have imposed more stricter rules and everything. Now you see there are quite a lot of better drivers now. Seriously, I'm not trying to pull a fast one or whatsoever. Then before, yeah, a lot of asshole.
Oh no, my ears, my ears.
I'm sorry. I am
I'm
sorry.
just kidding. Oh
Really,
no.
you know, some people would say that big cars are arrogant drivers. Yes. They wanna walk. They wanna cut you in. They cut you in. They wanna flash you out. They flash you out from the rear. They wanna follow you so near. They follow you. You know, because your car doesn't perform.
Right.
Right. I was driving a Toyota Corolla. Then before, you know how bad that car is. Before Toyota, I was driving a Nissan. You know that Nissan. That Nissan, the old taxi. And how fast can the taxi goes? You know when the taxi goes at 90, it would wobble everywhere. Right. And then at 90, and that is the speed limit on the highway, you know. And you are in the center lane, and yet you still have people flashing at you from the rear, and they are traveling so close to you, and they still keep honking at you. I can't imagine, you know. Why can't they just overtake you? They don't need to do all those kind of things.
Right.
So nowadays you see that there are more tolerant drivers.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
You're giving a really good image of
I do not
Singapore right now. That's
seriously,
good.
it's not a joke, or I'm not trying to. Yeah, of course, you know, we have got to say something nice about Singaporean, but if it's true, you have to tell them it is true. You know, why? If it's bad, yes, of course. You know, you don't say that you don't have bad drivers. Of course, you do have bad drivers on the road. You can see them also. Physically, you can see them. No, these drivers are terrible. You know, they just cut in. They from first lane they just go to the fourth lane and all those kind of things. And the worst part is that they don't signal. And just imagine if you have noticed, if you have seen the video clip on how that motorist actually died at the incident where the car just swerved into the lane.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I've seen those.
So, but then again, like I say, probably everybody says driving in Singapore is stress. Seriously, the roads are fantastic. You got 4-5 lanes highway. You know, you've got controlled speed limits. Why stress?
Right.
You see, the problem with these people is just that, you know, we taxi drivers sometimes we plan our route. You see, when the passenger comes in only, and then from point A to point B, there are a lot of route, and then we normally say, so which route you like to take, and then once the passenger says we would like to take this route, and we plan. You see, so when we plan, that means we minimize.
It minimizes the stress. And
yes, that's right. Because we know where we are going.
Right.
You see, but my advice to other drivers also, be it any other taxi drivers or private drivers, private car drivers, you have got to learn how to plan your route.
Just the regular motorists, right? They need to know how to plan the route.
You have to plan your route, and then you've got to anticipate the other drivers, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you got to anticipate.
So one of the things that I'll always remember, this is something my dad taught me a long time ago. He says that whenever he drives, he never looks at the car in front of him. He doesn't worry about the car in front of him. He worries about the car 2 cars down. Right? Which is basically that, because he says that if 2 cars down, the car suddenly stops. Right? He has to anticipate that. He has to realize that he has to stop very soon, because this car is going to hit that one, and he doesn't want to hit the car in front of him. You know what I mean? So That's something I always keep in mind because my dad is a great driver.
Right,
My
sure.
my eldest brother as well. My fiance's dad is a private driver for his company as well, for
Okay,
the
right,
CEO of
yeah.
his company. So he's a great driver.
Right,
You know,
right.
so and actually it's really cool because he has this amazing Lexus that he gets to drive,
Oh, okay,
and
wow.
it's so heavily modified. It costs about $700,000. So
Wow.
whenever I get a chance to sit in a car, I just jump in. There's little buttons you can press that massage you.
Oh, really?
There's a fridge at the
Wow.
back.
Do
There's
the
air
driver
conditioning.
gets a massage also?
And then there's air conditioning for your feet and stuff.
Oh,
it's
wow.
insane. It's ridiculous. You can even warm up the seat of your car.
Oh,
You know.
wow.
So, but anyway, that's good. All right. So 1 second. Let me just make sure that this is right. Okay. So it's about 4:48 now. Can we go for another 20 minutes?
Yeah, sure. No
Okay.
problem. Yeah,
Sounds
okay.
good. Right. So let me just arrange this. Okay. So I just want to make sure that we're both in the seat.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes, we are. So this is good. Oh gosh, my cough is really horrible, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, yes, we have a few couple. Okay,
Wow,
What-
I look like a star, man. Like an artist.
Try again a little bit.
Oh, what happened?
oh no, doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. It's okay. So, what do you think about Grab Taxi and Uber? How has it affected you?
Well, initially, every taxi drivers are always complaining. Yeah, you
Mm.
know, I think like a couple of months ago, if you have noticed that came out in the news also where all the land and transport authorities and a few of the taxi association and all this kind of things sat down together, and then Uber or Grab Taxi was not introduced just only.
Mhm.
It has been like a
It's
being
been for a few years, yeah,
that's
been in
right,
making,
you know.
yeah.
And why aren't you complaining then few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Only why now? If 4 years ago, if it have affect your an individual taxi driver's income,
Mm-hmm.
it should have affected 4 years ago, not now.
Right.
Right. Uber. Probably it is one of the smaller, or a very big established one also here.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I say, what's the hoo-ha there? You know?
Right. I think especially in other countries, Uber has been heavily affecting taxis because it seems like the taxi companies in those countries didn't anticipate what was going to happen. So like in Singapore, I mean, I've never used Uber before. I haven't had the need to do it. And overseas, they're always saying how it's so easy to book an Uber. You just press a button on your phone and you get it. We've had that with taxis in Singapore for so long.
Yes.
So there's no need to get an Uber, you know. And I've never tried it. I'm sure it's good, but I've never tried it.
No, basically, I think Grab Taxi or they don't call it Grab Taxi anymore. They call it Grab now.
Mm.
Whether it's a Grab car or Grab Taxi, it's under one name now. It's Grab. So the application is like if you go into Grab, you get a private car or you get
A taxi, right.
also. But before then, it was just Grab Taxi, and then only they flash out taxi drivers only.
Mhm.
You see, Grab Taxi is the reason why. I think probably private cars are very small pool.
Mm-hmm.
Or even though if they just imagine we have got almost about like what our company has got about what 15,000-20,000 taxi fleets,
Mm-hmm.
and then the others would have a total of about 15,000 altogether, about what 30 or 40,000
Taxis in Singapore,
on the
right.
road. Yeah, can we get about 40 or 50,000 Grab taxis or Uber on the road?
Right. Grab cars or Ubers, right?
Yeah. Alright, can you get that amount? Probably they only take 10%.
Mm-hmm.
What, 10,000 people? 10,000 or maybe
5,000, right.
private cars only on the road?
Mm-hmm. And also, I think
Does that affect you a lot?
Uber in Singapore, if you plan to join Uber as a driver,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my opinion, it's unsustainable in the sense that cars are just so freaking expensive here. You know, I mean, if I were in another country, I wouldn't mind doing an Uber, driving an Uber,
because the car is cheap.
the car is cheap.
Yeah,
How are you
yeah.
gonna drive an Uber and fetch guys around when your car costs $120,000?
That's
You know,
right.
and that's
Even
like
for
the cheapest car you can get.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, I tried Grab car before. I mean, I thought it's okay. No big difference to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I have had a few complaints. about people who have taken Grab car or whatsoever, because they say that drivers are inexperienced drivers.
Right.
They don't know their route very well. So they tend, if let's say if you are a passenger that you are rushing for time, and then suddenly he would be turning around, it's not that he's taking her for a ride or whatsoever, or him.
He just
for a
doesn't
ride,
know.
he just doesn't know his route.
Right.
So that's the reason why some people actually shun away from this Grab taxi or Uber.
Right.
Yeah,
I understand that.
because of the inexperienced driver, and then another thing is just that a lot of taxi drivers are in this application.
In Grab taxi,
yeah,
right?
that's right. So if I would say that if it affects taxi drivers, why are they joining the
Right.
yeah, only probably the other people who are not joining the apps are always complaining.
Right. So in a way,
but then-
Grab taxi is probably a benefit.
Yeah, some taxi drivers find it is a benefit for them because they've got bigger scope of
Passengers,
bigger scope of calls.
Oh, right.
Because why? When you talk about you got Grab taxi, you got your own company call, and then if you can have like 10 calls or 15 calls every day, just imagine the fees that you are getting extra.
Right.
Yeah. Why?
I see.
Why not use the apps? But the reason why I didn't want to use the app is because it's through the phone, you see, and it's very inconvenient.
Right.
If you got caught by traffic police, you're gone.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That.
Yeah, because every
that's not
time
good, yeah.
you have to display your
Phone. Yeah.
your smartphone right at the dashboard, and the calls come in, and then you have got to look through, and then you have got to start touching the screen, and then if you get caught, that's it, you're gone.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
better just to stay away from that. No?
That's right. That's the reason why I just
You
stay
know,
away.
I gotta tell you something. It's really funny. When I was in Japan, just for a holiday, I took a taxi there.
Right.
Man, it is so interesting because, well, first of all, taxis in Japan are ridiculously expensive
Yeah,
compared to
that's what I
here,
heard, yeah.
right? And so my trip was about 15 minutes. It cost me about I think it was $100, right?
Singapore dollars.
Yeah, 100 Singapore dollars. It was about 10,000 yen. At that time, it's about $100. So anyway, it doesn't matter because we were in a rush to the airport anyway. It's just that's how it works there, and everything else there was a lot cheaper than here anyway. So, but the thing was, the driver himself, right? It seems like a lot of taxi drivers in Japan are a little bit older. Old. I don't mean 50 to 60. I mean 70.
Really old.
Yeah, really, really old. But in Japan, they're fit. They really are
yeah,
fit.
yeah.
So, and when he came out of the cab, right? He looked like he came out from the Transporter. The movie.
Oh,
He
right.
looked like a cold-blooded killer.
Oh,
So he's
yeah.
wearing white gloves.
Uh-huh.
His suit and tie are just brilliantly just pressed and stuff, and he's got this look on his face. It's like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? I'm thinking, all right, fine. He's a bit old, but whatever. Let's just go to the airport. So we sit in the taxi, and the minute he's sitting, he just floors it. Right? He just
Oh,
floors the
really?
cab and just boom. We just go. I mean, like really, really, really fast. On the highway, we were doing about 150 kilometers an hour, 160. And I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And I'm in another country, so whenever I'm in another country, I don't make noise about things that I'm used to, so I don't say slow down. In Singapore, I would definitely say slow down. There I didn't. And then when we were driving along the highway, there's a little gantry, like a toll booth.
All right. Yeah.
Right? This is how it works there. Most people slow down, and then there's some beep or whatever, and then you go
Right,
through.
yeah.
I see the gantry coming, and this guy doesn't slow down.
He
He's
should.
literally going 150. I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? He just goes and goes and goes, and he goes to the gantry, and all of a sudden the gantry just opens up. I'm like, oh my god, I almost died.
So you thought you were gonna crash?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna die or something, but that's how it works, man. But Japan was just amazing. I really love that place. All right, so last two questions.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm interested in this. You were talking about 40,000 taxis in Singapore, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
Do taxi companies pay COEs on their taxi?
Oh yes, of course.
That's insane. Because
But they got subsidized COE.
right. Okay.
Only
So
taxi company have got subsidized.
do you know how
COE.
much it is?
I have no idea.
Okay, because right now the COE is about $70,000.
For commercial, no.
This is a commercial
This is
vehicle.
commercial
Oh,
vehicle,
right.
yes, that's
So it's
right.
basically like the van COE.
Right, yeah. I
Ah.
think commercial vehicles are going like what, 60, 57 right now?
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's say $60,000.
Yeah.
That means that if you and I were feeling very rich and we wanted to start a taxi company, right? For 10 taxis, that would be $600,000 in COE.
Right, yeah.
So plus the car, maybe another 40,000.
That's
So
right.
100,000 per car.
That's right.
10 taxis is $1 million.
That's right. Yeah.
100 taxis is 10 million.
Right.
1,000 taxis, no.
No.
Yeah.
If it's one taxi, 100,000, that means 10 taxi will be
$1 million.
a million, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So 100 taxis is 10 million.
Yeah, yeah.
1,000 taxis would be $100 million. That's
And no joke, no, it's a very
insane.
It's a very big business, no? Taxi company is a very
Right.
big business, yeah.
And then if you're talking about even more than that, then
Yeah.
it's in the billions.
Yeah.
Shit, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
It is actually. People would just think about it,
Right.
but then it is not easy to actually run a taxi company.
Hmm.
But then probably it is a very big business.
Right,
It
I can
is,
imagine.
it is, yeah, you're talking about just to start up a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost you a lot of money. Just for 10 cars is enough to kill you.
Yeah.
Unless if you are really financially strong and all those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just imagine, it's really...
Wow, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
All right.
I mean, and the best part is that, every taxi company provides services.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have got to go in every 2 months for the services and all those kind of things. So
They service your car, you mean?
yes,
Right.
that's right, and they do it for free.
Oh,
we
right.
don't have to pay. As innocent, everything is being borne by the company.
Right.
Yeah, and we have got to make sure that we are always punctual for the
For the servicing, car
for the
servicing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
So this is my last question for you. I'll end
Yes,
off all
sir.
my Sleepless in Singapore podcasts like this. What can we do, in your opinion, to make Singapore a better country?
What can we do to make Singapore? Wow, actually, it's so good already. I do not know what can we do. Seriously, we are a human resource company.
A big
Country,
human resource country.
Human
Right.
resource country we are.
Right.
So the only thing is just that to make Singapore better living is just that everybody have got to learn how to accommodate each other.
Right.
Right. Learn how to understand each other's profession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Be tolerant.
Be tolerant. Be nice to taxi drivers.
Yeah,
Come on,
man,
guys.
Be nice to taxi drivers, man. Especially when you're looking at this taxi driver.
Yeah.
Be nice to him every day.
Okay, well, first of all, when you have to be nice to Dean because he goes to the gym. Okay, so just to let you know, okay, there's a group of taxi drivers in Singapore who goes to the gym. You be nice to them, or else if they show up at your door, there's gonna be a problem. Okay, Dean, thank you very much, brother.
Thanks a lot,
That was
man.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for just
Yeah.
teaching me so much more, and also about the thing about the dogs. I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Oh,
I'll remember
okay,
that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and thank you for answering all the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the third episode of Sleepless in Singapore. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a really wonderful interview with Din. And I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Take care, guys.
Cheers. All right, man. Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Oh my gosh, that was wonderful. Okay, let me just pause that.
So you are going to edit it and then